if your mindset is working against you, I don't care how many to-do lists you do. I don't care how many like plans you have, all these steps you make. Everything you're setting yourself up for is failure if you do not clear your limiting beliefs and your mind. Clear your mind. There's no point of waiting for the new year. Like, if you're not gonna do it now, you're not gonna do it in the new year. If you're not ready for it now, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like change requires a radical decision, a radical intention to be like, I am over it. And it's about time to rebrand your entire life and reinvent yourself in the middle of the year. Actually, it's like a little past the middle of the year, meaning we have 4 months left. Have you reached any of your New Year's resolutions? And if you haven't, that's probably why you're here. But let me just say, you do not have to wait till January to set your new goals or to reinvent yourself or to get that momentum that nobody gets in January. Like, that's just not how it works. It's either you break the cycle today or the loop continues tomorrow. That's what the little TikTok said, right? So, funny thing is, we all love to be like, oh, it's like new year, new me. No, it's new era, new me right now. Because the thing is that if you're still waiting to make change happen, you most likely won't be making it, to be honest with you. Just be like a little honest with yourself. Like, are you even real? Like, are you even for real about making these like New Year's resolutions? Because did you even follow through with your last ones? Because most people only look at their New Year's goals like once. And then they just go about, the first month, first week, maybe the first 2 months to be nice, We've all been there. I've been there. And it's not cute. When you tell yourself you're going to do something, you tell yourself you're going to reach a certain goal, and then you don't do it, that actually creates a lack of trust between yourself. So next time you say you're going to do something, you don't even trust the fact that you're going to say it. Like, you take your words for granted. When you're like, oh, like, this person, like, he's not a man of his word. She's not a woman of her word. Like, you are not a person of your word. You are saying you're going to do certain things. You're going to do certain goals. Yes, I'm clocking you right now. And you don't do it. And that's ugly. You know what I'm saying? That's ugly. And we're going to fix that today. We're going to reinvent ourselves in the next 4 months. So to be straight up with you guys, you can change your life in a month. Your life can change at any moment. Now, if you focus for 4 months, you could be a different person. Mind you, 6 months, you could be living a completely different life. That's only if you lock in, if you go all in. If you're ready for it, then you're watching the right video. If you're in between, I don't know what to do, then just go somewhere else, because I'm talking about locking in ASAP, because it's either you make the change now or you're gonna continue the loop. Honestly, I've been going through a whole midlife crisis for the whole past year and a half. Been going back and forth between versions of myself, letting go a lot of things that don't no longer serve my highest purpose, trying to align with things that do, and that is why I'm here. I set up a plan to kind of figure out my life in the next 4 months, and I want to share it with you guys, because you guys can join me throughout. It's pretty much a solid plan on how I'm gonna flip my life upside down in the best way in the next 4 months. And the only way we do it is if we lock in. We lock in with our attention, we lock in with our intention, and we actually use a strategy to achieve our goals. So yes, it's all about manifestation, it's all about mindset. The whole universe is mental, right? But the thing is that you're just gonna run into a lot of bumps on the road. It's happened to me. I don't want it to happen to you. I've been going back and forth. I'll take 10 steps forward, 5 steps back, and I'm honestly tired of it, because Like that's it. Like I really want like a real change in my life, and I've changed so much in the past year. Like I'm a completely different person, but let's do this. Alrighty, so how are we rebranding our life in the next 4 months? Now, one thing that you have to realize when you want to head a different way in your life, or you just want to elevate, or become a better person, a higher version of you, you need a clear vision. You need clarity. You need to know what you want. If you ask your GPS to take you somewhere, right? But you don't give them the address. You don't give your GPS the address. How is your GPS take you? How is it going to know where to take you? How is the universe going to know where to take you when you don't even know what you want exactly yourself? Now, the amount of details is up to you. I'm a Virgo. I'm really like a perfectionist. I really need details. Like I that's just how I've always been. Even to like understand concepts, like I need to like really understand. Like I need details. So for my brain to like lock it in, like and feel it, because the key to all of this is the feeling, right? I needed to see every detail. So we have a new vision board, which I'll share with you guys later when it comes true. And we got another one right here. We two vision boards. The vision is so big. We had two vision boards. Now I made a lifestyle one, just kind of like what I want my lifestyle to look like, and then I made a purpose and career one. It's just a way for me to really like visualize and feel like every day, remind myself of what I'm working for, like what I'm working towards. It's just to keep my mind clear, give that GPS an address to go. We don't want to send some mixed signals. We want clarity. So that's the first. Whatever version of that, you don't have to do the vision board. You can do scripting. You can do the mind movie, which I think it's Joe Dispenza that talks about it. You can do visualization. I've done a few visualizations, and that's also like is a good one. So you want to create the future you. What does she look like? What does he look like? What does he do? What does he feel like on the daily? What are the people who are the people they are surrounded by? What is the environment they're currently in? What hobbies do they have? What are they constantly doing? So all of that, you want to figure that out. You want to make a list. You want to print out the pictures. Whatever reminds you, whatever makes you feel, whatever triggers your emotion, that's what you want to go for. All right, so number 2, we want to polish that mindset. I know, my whole channel is pretty much about mindset, but if your mindset is not there, if your mindset is not what your higher self's mindset is, let me just tell you, you're gonna self-sabotage. I know it sounds cheesy, it sounds cringe. If your mindset is working against you, I don't care how many to-do lists you do, I don't care how many like plans you have, all these steps you make, everything you're setting yourself up for is failure if you do not clear your limiting beliefs and your mind. Clear your mind. One thing that I really just want to speak on specifically about mindset is the all-in mindset. So when you want to change in life, yes, it's possible to change your entire life in a month and 4 months. But the thing is that in order for that to happen, you have to have the all-in mindset, meaning that is your only plan. That is the only way it will happen. If you are like half in, half out, guess what? Like it's just not gonna work like that. You have to be fully in on who you want to become. It's the way your brain works. It's the way your brain is wired. You need to fully be in, not one foot out the door. You want to walk through the door, guess what? You're gonna have to close it behind you. So keep that in mind. You're gonna make time each day to check in with your mind and body. So like every day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna ask yourself, I got this from Jay Shetty when I went to his On Purpose live tour. He literally says he wakes up every morning and he says, what do I want to be today? who do I want to be today? Because it's so easy to wake up and go back to old programming. You have to constantly check in with yourself. You have to constantly wake up each day intentionally going like, okay, this is who I'm gonna be. It is so easy to fall back into old programming that if you do not consciously check yourself, you can easily fall back into it. So the moment you wake up, that's why I have that right there. It's the first thing I see when I wake up, and then I have another one right before I walk out the door, right? So it's like constant reminder. It's not only like a conscious reminder, but when you're seeing this constantly, it's a sign to your subconscious. It's a reminder. Your brain is reading it every day. It's getting integrated in there. Obviously, seeing the vision and also it triggering an emotion is another way of getting in there. Mind you, your body, your mind is used to being a certain way. This is why change is hard. The automatic programming is to go back to what you were programmed to do. It's like a computer. You're switching up the settings, except you have to train yourself to switch the settings. That's why you wake up every day, you ask yourself, who am I going to be? You use visual reminders, emotional reminders to remind you, to guide you, okay? Our brain is absolutely capable of change. Neuroscience has already proved it. This is science, guys. This whole mindset stuff I'm telling you, like, I know it sounds like really woo-woo, but it's like, there's proof out there. Like, you could choose to not believe me and choose to remain in a life you're not happy with. I'm guessing that's why you're watching this, but it's real. It's not woo-woo, and it's very much proven. So, that sounds a little salty. I'm not salty, guys. I'm just passionate, okay? Another little thing you could do, just use a certain practice to check in with your mind and body, with your mind specifically. So it's like you could do like a gratitude journal. You could just do like journaling, scripting. You can do meditation. I've been trying to do that more often, and it definitely helps, like, switch out from survival mode, which so many of us are living in without even realizing it, regardless of the lifestyle you live, by the way. Alrighty, so another thing you want to do in regards to taming your mind is removing distractions. I just want to let you guys know, just at the sense of one stimulus, you can go back to old programming. So this is why, balance is always healthy. When you are training your brain to be different, you need to stay away from anything that triggers you back into old programming as much as you can. Obviously, there's certain things you can't control. But let's say you're trying to eat healthier, like at least for the first 2 to 3 weeks, if you know you can't control yourself, don't put yourself in a restaurant, or don't go to a party that like they're going to be serving this food and you can't control yourself, or like stuff like that. Yes, balance is key, but when you can't control yourself, what's the point of sabotaging yourself that way? Third thing you're going to do to recreate your life. So we already talked about that clear vision. You gotta lock that in first. You gotta figure out, what do you want, who do you want to be, who do you want to become, and then you figure out your mindset. I have a lot of other mindset videos on here. Speak a little bit more about like spirituality in general mixed in with mindset, but they're kind of like intertwined. So if you want to hear more about that, you can check out one of my other videos. The next thing I was gonna say is create your plan. So you want to give yourself like a visual plan. You want to show your brain like, okay, this is how you're gonna do it. Like, this is how we're gonna do it. I want to remind you that when you're trying to create a new reality, like, you're not supposed to think about how it's gonna happen, but you could think about how you're gonna control your actions, how you're gonna show up every day, and who you're gonna be every day. Okay? So it's not so much emphasis on the how many things you're gonna be doing, but like, what things are you gonna be doing that are gonna be aligned with the frequency of that version of you. Okay? So in normal terms, like, what are you gonna do that the future you is already doing? So how does the future you get there? What steps, let's say you want to increase your income by a certain amount. All right, start reading books on finance, on just money, how people become successful. Like, that is what you have to do. You have to give your brain like some knowledge. So Joe Dispenza would always say, and I think it was Greg Braden too, he would say, knowledge is a precursor to experience. It literally helps your brain come up with like ways, and it will nudge you to do certain things that have to do with the goals you have if you show it like, okay, like this is the way. So like learn about these things that you're interested in. If you want to be like whatever you want to be, whatever you want to become, like learn about it, read about it, listen to a podcast. So that's another thing I wanted to say, like, knowledge is so important in this process of becoming a new person. Create practical steps, okay? So like ChatGPT nowadays is that girl. Yes, it's a girl, because no man knows that much information, by the way. Shout out to Kenrick, because he was the one that told me this. But if you tell it, hey, like, chat, like, I want to change my life in the next 4 months. What can I do? What steps can I take to get closer to changing my life or changing my identity? And it will literally give you steps. You don't even gotta do too much nowadays. You just gotta figure out what you want. You literally put it in chat GPT and it will give you steps. Obviously, use your intuition and your discernment to figure out like what advice you want to take. At the end of the day, I always recommend following your inner compass, whatever you feel nudged to do. But if you don't know where to start, ask chat, be like, hey, what steps do I take? It does the work. So, I was working with chat, for example, in my case, to come up with a content plan on how I'm going to increase my follower count or increase my engagement. So yeah, you want to create those steps. You want to create a plan. You want to create a guide on how you're going to get there. You want your brain to be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's not going to freak out on you. If you don't tell it what to do, it might freak out on you. I don't know if it's called like indecision fatigue or something like that. Regardless, I'm super indecisive. I wouldn't know where to start. So that's what I would recommend. The last thing you want to do is create systems that aid in accomplishing your goals. So what do I mean by that? So I typically use apps like to track my progress. I try using MyFitnessPal to just track my macros, my calories. I use this app called Me Plus. If you guys have never seen it, I'll probably try to put it up here if I can. It pretty much it's like a checklist that you just kind of like keep yourself in check for the day. Sleep cycle. I track my sleep that way. So that's like a huge thing I've been doing lately. Like one of my biggest like things that I've like tried working on recently is my sleep, because I don't have the best sleeping patterns. I'm a night owl. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I definitely do notice that when I have my 7 to 8 hours of sleep, if I have 9, I'm like a brand new person, fully operating, could intentionally show up every day. So it's like, that's like a priority to me nowadays. Like it's a bigger priority than even like working out is, because I mean, it's literally like your brain needs rest, your body needs rest, and if you work out, even more. So this is not even the whole point of this part, but try to better my sleep and keep my macros in track. So just search for whatever system helps you. I know some people use Notion. I've been trying to set up my Notion, but it's like so complicated to actually like set it up and like make it look cute and aesthetic. And like the whole point of having that is to make it cute and aesthetic. That's another point I want to get to. Romanticize the fuck out of the process, because the thing is, it's not gonna be an easy change. No change is ever like simple. You're always gonna get some resistance when you're trying to make a change. You're gonna come across some sort of resistance. You're gonna come across some sort of like issues. maybe even wanting to comfort back into old ways, which is why you want to have these systems up to keep you in check. You want to have that vision up to remind you every day what you're doing it for, to remind you what you're going to miss out on. That's why you want to work on your mindset to make it an easier shift, because regardless of you working on your mindset or not, you're going to come across fear and doubt. And I didn't even realize that as I'm trying to change who I am. I didn't realize that's something you can't avoid. So this is why you want the systems in place. So when these things do appear, when you just want to resort back to comfort, you made it easier for yourself. You have a plan, a routine. You know what I'm saying? You have your little, list to keep yourself in check. You guys, stay organized. It's already gonna be tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Any change, if you've ever changed in your life, it's already gonna be rough. So make sure you stay organized. You keep your space clean. They say a clean space equals a less cluttered mind. So your space represents you, and it's absolutely true, because when I'm going through it a little bit, my space just kind of flips upside down, and it just makes me feel worse. That's why, if there's one thing you could do, keep your space clean during this process. Stay organized, prepare ahead of time, keep systems in place. What else did I want to say? Oh, the romanticize the fuck out of the process. So, be cutesy about it. If you're like a girly girl, like, show up every day as this version of you. You don't have to do like the full routine, but like, put a little makeup on, do your little skincare. If you don't want to do makeup, do your little skincare, and like romanticize every part of the process. Make yourself feel good, because the thing is that you have to make yourself feel like this version of you. You're not always going to feel on a high. There's highs and lows inevitably, but you want to trigger whatever feeling this version of you would be having. You get me? Let's say you're like seeking financial abundance. You want to feel whatever that person would feel when they have the financial abundance, like whether it's like freedom, peace, financial happiness, whatever it is. You want to try to feel it as much as you can. You want to try to trigger your feeling as much as you can. So it's like, make your room cute, make the space you live in cute, like romanticize the process, do the little Notion template, buy yourself a calendar. I just bought myself a calendar recently. I think at heart, I'm very organized. I haven't been my entire life, but I honestly think it just changes my whole, like, the way I move. It changes the way I move. So it's like, it keeps me motivated. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this constantly, reminding myself, okay, this is what I have to do. Whatever you have to do, however you work. Some people don't work like that. But whatever works for you, okay? Okay, we spoke about the clarity needed for this switch. We spoke about the mindset we needed for the switch. We spoke about the systems we want to keep in place, so when things get a little shaky, we have something to go back to. The list, the plan. And then we want the action plan, which you're going to take action on, okay? You're going to take action. So it's like all of these is what leads to true transformation. And recently I was listening to this podcast with Big Sean and Jay Shetty, and he said this one thing that really stayed with me, and I wanted to share it. Give me a second. Listen to this. He said, put your attention on the intention and add strategy to it. That's how you get to manifesting. And I just think that was like chef's kiss, because it's like people often think about the intention, but they don't realize that they have to constantly focus on it. So that's why attention, meaning laser focus, meaning that vision, you want to keep your attention on the intention, and you add strategy, you add a plan to it, you add something that your logical mind can like stick by. It's like, okay, this makes sense in some sort of way, because your logical mind's going to make you think that it doesn't make sense. Now, if you don't have a plan, if you're trying to become a content creator and you don't have a plan, and you're just like running around just posting whenever you feel like posting, which I was doing, it's not going to work like that. I know there's some people that work a little crazier and they just like post whenever they feel like it. Everybody's different. I say stay organized, keep a little visual, keep a little plan, something that keeps you accountable. All right, you guys, so we want the strategy, we want the intention, and we want the alignment. Yes, the frequency alignment. What do I mean by strategy? The plan. What do I mean by intention? That's your focus. And then what do I mean by alignment? That's your frequency. And mindset plays a lot into that, by the way. It's how you're showing up every day and who you're being. It's not only what you're doing. So it's like, that's why the mind and body check-in daily is very important. You don't want to just go around, with the vision board up and all these plans, but you feel like shit. You feel broke and you're trying to be rich. Like, it's not going to work. You need to train your body and your mind to feel it and think it while you're doing all these other things. So that is alignment with the actions, with your mindset, and then energetically, okay? I just want to tell you guys this because not many people say straight up, like, expect to fail, expect to have to try again. That's a horrible thing to say, but the reality is that whatever you're working on doing, even if you mess up a little bit one time, let's say you're like trying to eat healthier, like, don't absolutely self-sabotage because you went and ate like chocolate or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, keep yourself accountable. Grace. I've been practicing grace so much recently because I was always so hard on myself, and that backfired because it's like you messed up a little bit and then immediately when you shame yourself for it, it makes you not even want to try to do it again. It's like you're scolding yourself. It's like when your mom scolds you and you get a little like feeling, it's like, damn, like, my bad, I didn't want to do that, so it makes you not want to do it again. Yeah, you're making yourself not want to try again for you. And you can't do that because we want resilience, which is another thing I wanted to speak about right now. When you're trying to better yourself, it's easy to like, go back to your comfort zone and be like, never mind, maybe this is not for me. Maybe this path is not for me. Maybe I'm supposed to be unhealthy. Maybe this is just my frame. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not built for this job. Maybe, like, there's a lot of things that can go through your brain, and I just want you to know that anything you want to do is 100% possible. Yes, not only in a woo-woo way, not only in a spiritual way, not only in a mindset way, in a scientific way. All this stuff I'm telling you, there's more to it, okay? There's proof on it. There's a lot of theories behind all of this. So that's just like the base, so you know, when I say that it's 100% possible, I'm not lying to you. Whatever you want to do, whoever you want to be, however you want to switch your life, it's 100% possible. Again, you need that all-in mentality and you need that resilience mentality. You can't give up. You have to wake up every day, remind yourself who you want to be, show up every day as it. If you mess up, ignore it and keep going. It's so easy to be hard on ourselves and not show ourselves that grace that we deserve while we're switching, because change is not easy. I'm sorry to say, like, it's not. You're letting go of way of being, of a way your body is used to being, your mind is used to being. It's a lot of habits and like it's a lot of habitual behavior, and a lot of science behind this that is making it harder. But guess what? You are wired for this. You're able to adapt to anything you want. We're built for it. So it's a little good news, at least, right? Remember that small steps lead to big changes. So, even if you're taking the smallest steps now, in a month, they can become a huge difference, okay? Just stay consistent, resilience, grace, don't shame yourselves. And please, 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 guys, start now, not in January. Like, there's no point in waiting to January. Not meaning to be, like, harsh or anything, because I know I was a little harsh in the beginning of the video. There's no point of waiting for the new year. Like, if you're not going to do it now, you're not going to do it in the new year. If you're not ready for it now, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like change requires a radical decision, a radical intention to be like, I am over it. Now, just for the last little sprinkle, when you're creating this version of you, dream big, okay? Like, don't limit yourself. I know you're just making a vision board or your vision or scripting or whatever you're doing, your goals. You're creating it in the middle of the year when there's 4 months left. But guess what? By January, you're going to be like 5 steps more ahead than what you could have been if you would have waited. Even if it's just 5 steps ahead. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait. The whole New Year's resolutions never really works unless you're fully in that energy at that specific moment, which I guess some people are. But it's like, start now. And by the time New Year's comes, you're already going to be a new person. If you actually go all in. Okay, I'm talking about like dedication. Anyways, I hope that helped. If you guys want to know about like anything that I'm doing specifically, I just wanted to give you the advice that I am following myself. I didn't specifically go into like my goals or my vision, but if you guys want me to tell you what I'm specifically doing to achieve my goals, to achieve my vision, what I'm changing, and my routine, and what I've added in and out of my routine, you guys can always let me know, because I'm all about self-care and I've been doing a lot of that lately. Anyways, that is all for today. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day and night. Till next one.